On the 4th of July, the beautiful Leslie Jones, like many other Americans, voiced that she didn't feel like there was anything to celebrate. Let me play a clip of what she said.
So it's hard for me to say happy 4th of July because it feels like we're going back to slavery, so maybe I should say happy back to slavery day, because if we don't do something, there will be no Independence Day for anyone.
Now let me play you this woman's response, the mother of 3 black girls.
I'm going to do everything in my power not to talk about Leslie Jones's looks in this, but you do whatever makes you feel good. Please make it make sense for me.
Jason, where else, if not America, can you resemble Great Ape and have the success that Leslie Jones has had? Look, and we're not picking on black women.
When I tell y'all that I went to sleep mad, slept on it, woke up, and I was still pissed off, look at how beautiful Leslie Jones is. And then when I saw that Shamika Michelle had 3 very black girls of her own that looked like they could be easily related to Leslie Jones, I was confused. Listen to what else she had to say.
Stop the lies, Leslie, because there are people, children, looking up to you that aren't the cutest, aren't the brightest, aren't the funniest.
So here her self-hating behind is talking about Leslie Jones looking like Grape Ape and children looking up to her, and these are her kids. This is her family. And make no mistake, she has a beautiful family. She has beautiful children, but Leslie Jones fits right into this damn picture. So how do you comfort your children after they hear you say some shit like that? What do you tell your absolutely beautiful girls after they hear you refer to a beautiful black woman that looks exactly like them as Grape Ape? How do you sleep at night knowing the damage that you've done to your own girls? And I'm not done. Listen to what else she had to say.
So for me, stop talking about this as back to slavery day, because if we went back to slavery, just like myself, Leslie, you would be in the field. And as a 6-foot woman that's actually built like a man, you would probably be working alongside the oxen.
Is this you here towering over Clarence Thomas? But you have the nerve to point out Leslie Jones' height? The self-hatred is real. You can tap dance all you want, but there is nothing that you could say or do that's going to make them ever accept you. And when they discard you like the piece of trash that you are, don't come running back. Go get yourself some help and take a very hard look at what you're doing to your girls. Because to them, we all look alike, and they could very easily be confused with Leslie
It's
Jones,
hard for me to say happy 4th
a
of
beautiful
July
black woman.
because it feels like we're going back to slavery, so maybe I should say happy back to slavery day.
Do everything in my power not to talk about Leslie Jones's looks.
Where else, if not America, can you resemble Great Ape and have the success that Leslie Jones has had? When she talks about women's rights, women still have the right to close their legs and be the peach that's out of reach. Because if we went back to slavery, just like myself, Leslie, you would be in the field. And as a 6-foot woman that's actually built like a man, you would probably be working alongside the ox.
Oh, Shamika, darling, I know that was very hard for you to say, and I mean that literally, because you were struggling like you were the student back in the day who everyone sighed heavily when it was their turn to read in the class. And if there's one thing that I can't stand, it's a couple of remedial motherfucking pick-me's who just want to run their mouths. So let's be perfectly clear, my dear, in case no one has told you. They will never pick you. It's very clear that you want to be the token black Barbie and ride on the coattails of Candace Owens, but even her raggedy ass had the good sense to not put herself naked on the front of a book and have 3 children before she decided to become the Republican black darling. The slut-shaming is absolutely intriguing on your part, because they will call you a ran-through woman. You don't meet their standards. You talk about the peach that's out of reach, baby, you've been giving your cobbler away for years. And you decide to go to the side that's going to completely demonize you for it? Bad survival skills, hun. But let's talk about the fact that you, a black woman, with dark skin and 4C hair, decided to use white supremacist racial epithets against another black woman by calling Leslie Jones an ape. And if that's not perplexing enough, you decided to go on and say that if you were both slaves today, that you would both be in the field. And yet, even then, in describing yourself in this hypothetical enslaved situation as a field Negro, you decided to still try to demote Leslie Jones by comparing her to the oxen? You are truly trying to grasp onto whatever crumbs Massa will throw your way. But I see your game, and you didn't call Leslie Jones an ape because she actually resembles an ape. It's very clear that she is a gorgeous, beautiful, strong, hilarious black woman. No, you called her an ape because you are very threatened by her, because you know damn well that if this were slavery times, she would be standing right alongside Harriet Tubman on the Underground Railroad, and you would be the snitch that Harriet shot. And I get it. You probably saw an opportunity to shill and make a few bucks on behalf of selling your soul to the Republican Party. But while you were on that very demeaning journey to notoriety, I want to give you a suggestion. And that's to keep Leslie Jones' name out of your motherfucking mouth. I know that her name tastes so sweet in your mouth, like the success that you'll never reach, but I want you to try it anyways. And I hope that you and Jason have the lives that you deserve. But once again, remember, they will never, ever pick you.
Where else, if not America, can you resemble Grape Ape?
Shamika, I'm going to stop you right there. For those of you who don't know, and that's probably everybody, her name is Shamika Michelle, and she's essentially a mouthpiece for anything that would get her attention. Think Candace Owens, but not successful. Just by taking a look at her Instagram page, she is homophobic, transphobic, fatphobic, a colorist, anything that would get her attention except for being successful.
And we're not picking on black women.
That's exactly what you're doing. I have to let you know that because I know you're not that smart.
As a dark-skinned black woman, I understand colorism.
Which is why you just compared another dark-skinned black woman to an animal. Aren't you the same woman that talks about women empowerment? You even have a video on your page where you're making a tribute to black women. But then at the same time, you want to tear them down. Shamika, just know that when they're done with you, and they will be done with you, the door locks when you close it.
We going back to slavery, so maybe I should say happy back to slavery day. Because if we don't do something, there will be no Independence Day for anyone. Yeah.
Make it make sense, and if you can, because it's a struggle for me, I'm gonna do everything in my power not to talk about Leslie Jones's looks.
Where else, if not America, can you resemble Grape Ape and have the success that Leslie Jones has had? Because if we went back to slavery, just like myself, Leslie, you would be in the field. And as a 6-foot woman that's actually built like a man, you would probably be working alongside the oxen.
In a country where, as black people, we've had to fight tooth and nail for every piece that we ever got, it makes no sense to me when some of us get on and get platforms, get in positions of power, for us to then attack our own. It is troubling as fuck for Jason Coonlock to sit up on here time and time again and just put on and denigrate us for them white people. It is even worse when you see a dark-skinned black woman compare another dark-skinned black woman to oxen, Grape Ape, and would tell her what type of slave she would be. All this because she would dare speak on the actual issues that's going down in our fucking country. Women's bodies have been commandeered by our government, and all they're seen as is baby makers. Black people are getting gunned down by the people that are supposed to be protecting us, and it happens so often it might as well be fucking culture. And instead of addressing any of her points in a real way, you attacked her looks. Historically, due to white supremacy, us as black people have been told that we're ugly, that our features are ugly, that we're demons, that we're not desirable, as they take our features and make money off them. So you'll get your bitch ass a platform, and on said platform, use those same tactics against your own. And you ain't no Shamar Moore looking motherfucker yourself to even be talking about anybody's looks, let alone Now that's part of course for Jason Coonlock. That's what he does on his platform. He likes to shuck and jive. But this dark-skinned black woman, I don't see how you don't find yourself to be an embarrassment. If you really care about the cause, even if you don't agree with this woman, to go at her looks, and you know the context of history in America, how they treat women that look like both of you, is a fucking slap in the face of your mama, your grandmama, and everybody in between. Hell, me as a dark-skinned black man, I feel like you talking shit to my dark-skinned black mama. You also open the door for the motherfuckers that we supposed to be fighting to do the same tactics and use that to not hear our points, specifically the points of a dark-skinned black woman. And you want to bring up the kids, so how do you think a little dark-skinned black girl is looking at this? What she's taking in from all of this? To be looked at as an ape because she would dare have an opinion on her own rights. What do you tell that little black girl? Because I know what I'm going to tell her. Don't listen to any raccoons like this that Harriet Tubman would have shot. And much love to Miss Jones for actually speaking up instead of being embarrassments like y'all.
Where else, if not America, can you resemble Grape Ape and have the success that Leslie Jones had? And she understands colorism. But if she understands colorism, Why would she be a colorist and sit on a television show and make these statements? The whole setup from the beginning was shady. Here you have a black man, Jason Whitlock, who has his own struggles with weight gain, and who's been demeaned and talked about by a lot of people, including Corey Holcomb, who sit back and says, I'm not going to say anything about Leslie Jones' looks, but I'm going to open the door and let you do it, because as a black woman, you're not going to be viewed that way. You just going to be viewed as keeping it real. And then this lady goes on to say that Leslie Jones resembles an ape and is 6 foot tall, built like a man. Why would you even say that and open the door for other communities to disrespect and be racist towards us in that way? This is rhetoric that black women have been trying to get away from, being called man, being called apes. But you just sat here on the television show and opened that back up for us. I find that colorism isn't just perpetuated by black men, it's also being perpetuated by black women. And people like to say that they don't know the difference between mixed and black. But obviously, when it comes to unambiguous black women, you guys definitely know the difference. We know the difference between black women. We know the difference between mixed race women. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to call out colorism. I found this rhetoric to be dangerous. I did my job of reporting it to YouTube, and I hope moving forward that YouTube monitors and regulates clips like this that shows that colorism within the black community should be taken just as serious as comments towards the LGBTQ plus community, the white community, Hispanic community, and the Asian community, because they do a very good job of monitoring and filtering out anything that can be seen as bullying, harassment, or disrespectful. And they're going to have to do the same thing when it comes to colorism and when it comes to protecting black women on their platform. Get in the comment section. Tell me what you guys thought about this. And I hope to see a change within my community. I think there are a lot of issues that are being perpetuated within the community that's causing a greater harm when we get amongst non-black people.